Good morning, friends. Now, many of you know that we've had some recent trouble with our goats, with our baby goats giving birth. Several of you have asked why we had the issues that we have, and that's a very, very good question. Now, that is a very, very good question. It's a question that I have asked a lot. I've asked the question of myself and of every goat friend that I have. No one seems to know. I did not have an autopsy done on the babies that we lost. Maybe I should have. If you don't know, we have Nubian goats. We have three. We have two does and a buck. The buck is about a year old. His name is Cinnamon. Parsley is about 2 years old. And Rosalina is about 6 years old. Now, there are several things that may have contributed to our disasters, to the babies not living. With Rosalina, she's really old, and she's never had a baby before. She's been with us since she was a tiny baby herself, and she has never bred. For whatever reason, she has never conceived. We have tried many, many times, and it just never has happened. I wasn't even 100% sure that she was pregnant. With Parsley, I didn't even really know that she was pregnant either. I had more suspicions with Rosalina than I did with Parsley. So the first thing that we did wrong was we kept Cinnamon the buck with the does full time up until the day that we realized that Parsley had her baby. Now, we had put Cinnamon in with the does several times, hoping that he would breed them. And like I said, he's just a year old. He's just a young buck, literally. I didn't know that he would be fertile. He never showed signs of coming into rut. He doesn't have a beard. He never did pee on himself. He never did the things that a stinky, smelly, giant billy goat does. And so I really thought that he was just too young. He never came into rut. He never showed signs of being in rut. And so I didn't expect that he would breed the does. And so we kept him with them because we didn't want him to be by himself. We did, back when we knew that the does were in heat back in the fall, we did separate Cinnamon from them and we waited until the next heat cycle with the does, and then we put Cinnamon back in with them, and nothing happened. He just sat there, and so we left him, and we left him there permanently, full time. Now, obviously, he bred them. He bred both the does. Parsley gave birth to a live baby, but the baby was premature. 2 weeks premature, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that based upon when Rosalina delivered her babies. The baby had teeth and the baby had fur, but it wasn't able to stand, and it never was able to make a lot of sounds or move a lot. And it certainly wasn't able to nurse the way that it should have. It did suckle the bottle some, but not like it should have. And it passed away that first night. And then 2 weeks after, Rosalina delivered babies, but they were stillborn. And I tried to revive them, but they weren't even alive when they were born. It's not that they were born and didn't start breathing. They just were dead to begin with. So it was very unfortunate. Now, the reason I say that was our fault is that we should have kept better records. We should have been more diligent. We should have known exactly when the goats were bred, and we should have kept cinnamon separate, and we should have been waiting and watching for all of this, and we didn't, and we will never ever make that mistake again. We think based on prior experience, and we're talking with other friends, that there were probably some nutritional deficiencies, and again, that's our fault.
Dad, can I see a parsley go? Hey, Parsley, come on. Parsley doesn't know what to do. Come on, Parsley, go around that way and come back.
We have kept goats off and on for years. There have been times when we didn't have goats, and there have been times that we have had 15, 20 goats at a time. We have bred boar goats in the past, and we have bred pygmy goats in the past. We've had Nigerians, we've had Nubians before. We have even had some of the myotonic fainting goats. And we have bred sheep, and we have had baby llamas, and we have kept potbelly pigs and alpacas, and we have raised all manner of small mammals, rabbits, chinchillas, guinea pigs, and so we're not novices. We still make mistakes. We're not experts, but we're not beginners. What we think happened was a selenium deficiency. There have been reports from lots of people over the last few years that they have had issues with this. Several people on YouTube, lots of friends on Facebook have had issues with deformed babies being born not being able to walk, stillborn babies being aborted, and everyone seems to think it's selenium deficiencies. Our soil is just not very mineral rich, especially where we live. If you live in other places of the world that have traditionally been farmland that may possibly have been over-farmed, and there aren't enough minerals in the soil. Where we live on a big chunk of wet, gloppy, white clay. That's why we grow our vegetables in raised beds. We feed coastal Bermuda hay, which is really the only hay that we can get locally. I can get alfalfa hay, and it comes in a great big bale, but it is shipped in from out west somewhere, and it's $40 a bale. Number one, I can't afford that. Number two, it seems ridiculous to be shipping hay across the country when there's hay available here. I know that alfalfa hay is totally different than Bermuda grass hay, but we can get coastal Bermuda hay locally at a very reasonable price, and so that's what we have always fed all of our animals. Rabbits, chinchillas, guinea pigs, the Patagonian cavies, when we've had the sheep and the llamas and the alpacas, everything has always been fed coastal Bermuda hay. Back when we had the other goats, we would put out the big tubs of minerals that they would just come by and lick on all the time. With these milk goats, this is our first time milking goats, by the way. With the milk goats, we've been told that the tubs of minerals, is covered in molasses. It's great big tubs of salt and other minerals, and it's coated in molasses. We've been told that those aren't good for milk goats. And so we know that they can't get enough minerals just from licking a salt block. And so we've been giving free choice loose minerals, and we have. Rosalina has always had that. For the 6 years that we've had Rosalina, we have given her the free choice loose minerals. We've been buying the 5-pound bag from the feed store. The brand that everybody feeds. I can't think of the name of the brand of that. Get it at Tractor Supply or your local feed store. Now that they're in milk, they're going through that. Two goats with cinnamon also, so 3 goats are going through 5 pounds of salt in almost a week. It's completely gone within 10 days. And so I'm going to go out and I'm going to try to find some selenium supplements to give to the goats. I may have to order that. But I'm definitely going to pick up a 50-pound bag of minerals, loose minerals. I'm going to go to C&R Feed, our local feed store, and see what they have, what they recommend. I may have to drive further out to a farmer's co-op store if C&R Feed doesn't have anything that will work for my needs. So to recap, it's our fault. Number 1, for not keeping better records and knowing what's going on. Number 2, for not providing the essential nutrients that the goats need. We feel awful about this. We take full responsibility for it. It is a learning process. Really don't know what else to say. We're going to move forward and try our best to never let this happen again. Bye.
Jojo wants to say thank you for watching and leave a comment down below.